What's up, everybody? This is Cadmus back at you with episode number 4 of my little F1 2010 Let's Play videos. We are now facing the dreaded track of
I've got to
Catalunya.
tell you, the team were really impressed with how you handled the press earlier. They said to say thank you.
They were really impressed. Thank you, agent. Let's take a quick look at the standings. P5, not that far away from P2, actually. A couple points, 5-6 points. Install a helmet mod. I was kind of bored of all the other mods, of all the other helmets, which is very limited. So I installed a couple nice helmets. I saw the Lucas de Grassi helmet, this one, which I pretty much like. It's not my favorite helmet, but it's the helmet mod I found. So I'm putting this one on, and we're going to the dreaded Catalunya. Oh my god. You know, if there's one track where Legend AI truly is legendary, it's Catalunya. And I was happy. I was like loading it up, and it's like, it's raining. Yes, rain. This is gonna save me. I'm gonna actually score some points on this track. But it only rained the first 15 minutes of practice. I'm not showing you the practice laps, as said. So 125. Yeah, nothing too special. I think it was on primes though, still. So not that bad. I'm not sure. It might have been on options. Can't lie. Not entirely sure. So I quit out and I came back. So then sometimes you get an interview in your paddock.
Everything the team hoped you'd get this year?
So here about the interviews, it's all linked to your performance. If you do well, you get more interviews, and it depends. Your answers in interviews will affect which contracts you get offered near the end of the season. You know, the silly season when everybody's talking about seats. So you can slag off your team. If you slag them off, you'll show the other teams you're interested. And, you know, if you praise your team, you'll be more likely to get a new contract with the team. Of course, it's linked to your reputation level as well. So yeah, it's a little bit live the life here. So let's head into the qualifying lap here, my little hot lap. I trained a lot on this track. Didn't know it well because I avoided like the plague because that's so much bad memories. So here's the home straight, flat out. It's not a very, very fast circuit. You hit 300 something kilometers an hour. And it's not the fastest circuit around. You brake at the 100 meter mark, drop down to third, back on the throttle here, get to fourth gear, up to fifth, and here you really very tricky corner. You feather it just a little in the beginning, then you go flat out, max out the revs because it's uphill. Here you brake right before that overhead, get the third gear, feather it, and flat out again. In this very tricky corner, braking point just behind that Allianz board in second gear. Try to get a nice exit. I kind of miss it up here. I hit the apex too much. That doesn't affect my lap time that much here. Very tricky again. Get down to third gear. Cut it as much as humanly possible. Really on the limit here if you want to carry good speed. Sixth gear. Drop down fifth, but don't lift your foot off the throttle. Flat out through there. And here, a little back straight brake just before the 100 meter mark. Take this one in second. Hit the apex. Try to get a good exit. Here you cut again as much as you can. Drop down one gear, feather the throttle, feather it, go for it. Yep, flat out again. Here, tricky corner, blind corner, take it in third, cut it again as much as you can. Very tricky chicane in second. Don't go too much over the curbs or it will spin you out. Setup is important. You know, it's very prone to set you flying off, so that's why you need to play with your ride height and spring stiffness. And I found a pretty good setup for that. It's a 123.898. For the moment in P7, unfortunately I'm not going to stay there, but it's the best I could do. I tried a lot, I pushed hard, couldn't push harder. Actually my best qualifying result I think in this season, 1.3 seconds off the pace, which is very damn good for a Lotus. But then of course comes the race, and on Catalunya, the AI is truly legendary. They are so badass fast. I know there's no way I'm going to get into the points, not with this qualifying position. I need to do like an Uber first corner if I want to get into the top 10, and then I'll just have a truly train behind me. It's near impossible on Catalunya. AI is just too damn fast. They have in the middle sector they're 2 seconds faster than you are. So here's the setup: 4 and 2 wing settings. I have the brake balance to the back. I usually put it to the front, but here it's to the back. Again, the balance itself, distribution to the back, while I usually put it to the front. It helps with traction. Here's the ride height, pretty important. Put it on pretty high on 3, and the front, the spring stiffness not too hard. So this will help you get over that last chicane. Here you see the gearing and special. Put the throttle map in standard. The alignment is like that. I put the toe all the way to the left. And there's my setup. I mean, you can go over it slower, pause it or whatever if you want to note it down or something. But most important here is really the ride height and the spring stiffness to help you tackle that last chicane. Because, man, you spin out very, very easily there. So here I'm hoping, is there going to be rain? No, light cloud, 0% chance of rain. I'm screwed. So here I'm hoping, I was considering for a second, I'm just going to run straight into the wall at lap 1 because, man, erasing the AI is so frustrating on this map. And on other maps, they have these slow corners. I've discussed before here, they have no slow corners and they have a couple of uber fast corners they take. So it's quite horrid bad. So we'll see what I can do. I was really considering just putting it in the wall, treat it like a DNF, and just move on to Monaco, which I love. But I figured, we're doing this like a real race season, and, qualified 11. At least I hit that team objective, so that wasn't that bad. And there we go, P11 right behind Petrov and Kubica, the two Renaults. And I'm cutting off here Liuzzi. Again, the Force Indias and the Renaults seem to be my main competitors in this little season. So breaking the 100 season mark, trying to go around the outside of Petrov, but I don't get it. Just trying to hold off Liuzzi at this point. I know they're very fast through that corner. I can't take it flat out. I need to feather the throttle or I go too wide. It's the Lotus as well. It understeers a lot. So here they are, reasonable through that corner. But here is coming up the section where they are really, really, really fast. You see me already losing touch with Petrov and not making a gap to Liuzzi behind me. So I'm pretty desperate here. I know this is going to be an uphill struggle all the way. And, it kind of messes with your concentration, too. You're pushing too hard. You want to keep up, and you're pushing too hard, and prone to make mistakes, don't make the perfect laps. And here you see the gap opening up. Just look at the mini-map. Already a nice little gap. Liuzzi on my tail. So, yeah, uphill struggle. It's a nice track, though, Catalunya. It's very technical. Very nice track, but yeah, it's just so good. And I think my quali lap really wasn't that bad. I mean, 123, 800, it's a good quali lap. But, so here really, drop down to second. You can even take it in third if you're really afraid of wheel spin coming out, but you'll have low rev, so you won't accelerate very fast. So I see, caution hazard ahead. I'm like, yes, an accident. But I don't know what happened, but I get a yellow flag for, I don't know why. I didn't see anything happening. So yeah, my only hope was really if it was going to rain here in Catalunya. And it rained, but in the wrong session. It rained in the free practice session. So here I'm just trying to make it truly train, in honor of my teammate. Just, try to keep that position, keep in P11, and then hope some magic gets worked during the pit stop. But if you've seen my other episodes, I'm not usually that fortunate with the pit stop, mostly due to my own fault. And it puts you under pressure. You're not driving relaxed on this track when you're racing the AI just because they're so damn fast. You always see that little arrow coming up behind you and you're like, oh, need to push. And then, make mistakes here. I don't take that corner as fast as I can. It's such a, here sometimes it's so tempting to just go straight into that wall, do a nice little crash and just, treat it like a DNF. That's it. I tried. But let's just say, for realism's sake, and this track the Lotus wasn't very suited for, our package wasn't working, couldn't get the balance of the car right. Well, which is weird because I managed to qualify in P11, which probably was my best qualifying session of the year, but, let's just fool ourselves into thinking into some kind of realism. 126.09 this lap. It's decent enough. I mean, it's on quality pace of the lower racing car, but the race pace of the AI is just so blindingly fast. I have my tires falling off now, so it's making it even harder to take these corners. You see, I'm not even putting the full lock here, so very, very difficult. A huge gap to Petrov already opened up, and a nice little train behind me. Luckily, it's not an easy circuit to overtake. And the AI is not very aggressive in the overtakes anyway, so at least I can hold this position. But I'm dreading the pit stop window, because I know once they're liberated from behind me, they're all gonna do like 2-3 seconds quicker laps, and I'm gonna be boned and be left in last position. But yeah, I'm sometimes bitching that Legend AI is too easy. Well, I'm inclined to say that the Legend AI is just too good on this track. I mean, I like the idea of having a super hardcore AI, but there's limits to everything. I mean, this is 2 seconds off the pace, and off the race pace, while in other races I'm fighting for podiums and shit. So it's just not consistent enough. That's the real hassle to it. And here, because Liuzzi pits, at least I create a little gap, but you see that gap close up pretty much immediately. They're faster than me down the straight, they're faster than me in the corners, they're faster than me everywhere. I feel like Massa in Germany. Everybody and they mama faster than me. It's a horror story. Gotta say, I really do enjoy the track in itself. For multiplayer races, it's good fun. I mean, it's Rammer's paradise as well, because there's just very few overtaking opportunities. But if you run with a couple clean racers, it's definitely a very, very enjoyable, very technical track. Easy to go wide into the gravel, spin off, lose a lot of speed. And this chicane, it's beautiful. This little fast sweeping left-right, but the AI is just so fast. These 3 corners here, that little sweeper, and then this one, it's blindingly fast. Like, I saw this in my quali times. I was faster in the first sector and the third sector. Those were my times were the best there. But in sector 2, I lose a full 2 seconds to the AI, which, you're like, oh, freaking pretty powerless here. So this is my scheduled pit stop lap. I'm saying, hey, look at that. Kobayashi hasn't actually gotten under my wing yet. My tires are still okay. My times are still okay. So I'm thinking, okay, let's do one more lap. Just try to trick, the AI, the pit thing, majing. Here, I see I can pass all these guys. I'm hoping they're going to get stuck in traffic behind me. Wishful thinking. And at least it enables me to be in a respectable position at some point in the race. I think I'm higher than P10 here. Yeah, P5, because, of course I passed everyone in the pits. Putting the wing up because, the options are starting to fall away from me. And here, well, okay, I guess I'll admit blame for that one. I squeezed him a bit too much to the right, but he had more room than that. It's not like we were on the edge of the circuit. He could have run around me, but heard Kobayashi here. I think I took off his wing. But, that was a bit of a kamikaze move by him as well. And, sorry, but Catalunya need a bit of dirty tricks to even hope having a decent result on this, against this Legend AI on Catalunya. There's Kobayashi behind me. I think he's missing a wing, but he's still going super fast, which is very interesting. So now, 5th lap, now the options are falling away. They're on orange. But still a bit of a gap, little gap, but then there's a whole train behind me. Everybody's going to pass me. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to dive into the pits here. You see understeering again, went into that corner a bit wide, mess up the chicane a little bit. And here I'm coming in, and I lose a lot of time coming in as well. I put on the limiter way too early. You can see when I'm looking behind me how they're catching up to me. I think I'm looking behind me. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So lost like a second or two there, not coming in fast enough. But that wasn't too bad here. And there's the pit crew. I brake on time, it looks like. Yep. Get myself a set of primes, and I'm going to get held in the pits. Look at that. Look at why I get held in the pits. I have no idea why. My stop was ready at the same time as that Toro Rosso, and still I get held up in the pits. So it's the last thing I needed was a little pit stop bug action. 8-second pit stop while everything was right, while in the other last race I had a 3.4 second pit stop. So that really messes, crushes my hopes of at least getting a top 20 finish. At least I'm ahead of Trulli, who got stuck behind me, which was pretty damn awesome. Pulled another Fernando Massa-like move. So at least I'm keeping Trulli behind me, because that's another thing I haven't really talked about in this series yet. It's the teammate war. So as you know, in real Formula 1, the only guy you can really compare yourself to is the dude in the same car as you, right? Your teammate. So you have a teammate challenge, kind of. You have 5 parameters which are looked at. They are who's out-qualified who, which I'm, leading pretty handily here, 5-0 against Trulli. Then there's podium positions, who has the most podium positions, which I'm winning easily too, because Trulli hasn't even been in the points. Then there is fastest laps in a race, which I was leading 4-0, but I'm pretty sure in this track, Truly's going to get a better fastest lap in the race than I am. So that's one minor point to him. What else is there? Championship position or something like that? Yeah, well, we'll check this out in a later vid. I'll explain to you a bit how that works. So here I'm like, oh, I gotta get Hulkenberg, I gotta get him. And I don't. I mean, I do get on the outside, but I'm too fast in the corner. Can't get him, so now I'm resigned to really, well, I guess being in Lotus's true position. So in a way, yeah, we can bitch that it's too hard. Another way, on Catalunya, another way, it's realistic. I am in the last position, but what I like to put against that is, well, I qualified in 11th, so I obviously have pace to be higher up there in, how it's done now. And now I'm having Glock on my ass, who in any other Grand Prix I lap, figuratively speaking. So, and Truly's catching up to me again. I mean, I really screwed up Truly's race. He's going to be a bit pissed at me. Here you see Hulkenberg fresh out of the pits, and I'm still hoping, there must still be some guys, and I messed it up here. And, well, that completely was not my fault. I mean, I missed the corner here. I spin a bit, and Glock just runs straight into my ass. I mean, that really was not my fault. I didn't even change track position or anything. So, I'm behind Hulkenberg, and here I'm like, let's just finish this race. Hope one or two guys still have to pit. Here I seriously messed shit up. So now I have Glock having to go into the pits because he lost his front wing. That's what I'm saying. My driving's getting sloppy. I'm stressed. I'm under pressure. I'm pushing. That's the thing. I'm pushing too hard. And if you saw one of the early episodes, what I'm saying, you don't have to put in a string of qualifying laps in a race. You just need to find a good race pace. But here you're so pressured by the AI that you just try to get those quality laps in, but then you push too hard and you're actually slower than if you would take it a bit easier. So, yeah, very tricky, very tricky. And I'm still praying for rain, but I know it's not going to come. Sky's looking good. 0% chance of rain in the forecast. That's really the only thing you can hope for in Catalunya, is pouring rain. Because AI, in general, they're 2 seconds faster in race pace per lap, easily. So, and rain, usually I'm 2 seconds up on them, in race pace, in general. So, it would kind of even out the playing field, and I could have, another fight for the points, which in essence is stupid in a Lotus, let's face it. There's no way I should be able to fight for podiums. So I'm saying, very inconsistent, the AI speed in this game, but nowhere it's as bad. And here you see I'm really starting to mess up. Just pushing too hard. I'm totally lost touch with Hulkenberg. In 2 laps, he has moved away from me quite handily. But, the sole consolation I have here is I see Truly behind me. No gap times yet, so he must be quite decently behind me. 4 more laps to go. So I'm thinking, okay, this might be doable. I might still beat my teammate in the teammate challenge. And I won't look like a complete ass to the bosses. He's saying, "Oh, look, your teammate beat you hands down." And I'm like, no, he didn't. I'm still number one in the team. Well, it's another thing in the contracts. Since you're starting out as a rookie, you're the number 2 driver. And as I was saying, there's the whole contract negotiation thing in the interviews, depending on how you treat your team, if you're critical or if you're praising them or if you're neutral. And your this link to your reputation level nets you contracts. Now, you can get re-signed with your team if you have the required reputation level, which you almost have by default in the lower ranked teams like Lotus. And, they can offer you number 1 driver position. And the only perk to that really is that you can set the research and development path for your team. So there's 3 R&D paths you can choose. There's aggressive, balanced, and unique or something. No, well, there's 3 of them, and the aggressive one gives you lots of minor updates, or gives you unique upgrades like a downforce package or stuff like that. So I'm thinking that's my strategy for this race, and some of you might be thinking, oh, he's giving weird answers. But my idea is for this career session, it's a 7-year career. 7-season career. So I'm thinking I'm going to stick it with Lotus for year 2, at least, getting number 1 driver contract, so I can check out the R&D. I've actually never been number 1 driver, only did 2 seasons before restarting, so I never was the number 1 driver. So I'm going to stick it with Lotus until I have the required reputation to go to Williams, and then I'm thinking just going to stick with Williams, because it's a competitive car, but it's not, competitive in the game, I would say, because if in the Lotus I'm already, on podium positions and fighting for Grand Prix wins, I'm thinking, if I'm going to Red Bull or Ferrari, which actually happened in the season career I was doing before, I went to Ferrari in season 3, and I was just winning everything, except Catalunya, of course, but it wasn't fun anymore. The car's too good compared to the AI, so I'm thinking just sticking with Williams for the rest of the career, and then returning them to their former glory. Because your car does improve over the seasons if you stay with them. It's based on their position in the World Constructors Championship. And so, for instance, if anyone has the balls to stay with Lotus for the 7-year career, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty competitive car by the end of it. Even though the R&D kind of resets at the beginning of each year, so we have to redo the throttle map settings. Oh, which I got, by the way. You may have seen that in qualifying. I now have the fast throttle map setting as well, in addition to the cruise and the standard one. But they do reset kind of, but your overall car performance is improved. So the Lotus in Bahrain in Season 1 will be worse than the Vanilla Lotus in Season 2 in Bahrain if you stay with them. For instance, you also see this in AI positioning, like Red Bull can be dominating this year, they'll still be good next year, but then, if McLaren was second or something, you'll see that reflected. So it's a dynamic season. I mean, you won't have occasions where McLaren have made a dog of a car and they're in the back of the grid. I mean, it still respects the 2010 reality. But as far as I understood it, like I said, I've never completed a 7-year career, so I'm not entirely sure of that. But that's how I understood it. Looking at the forums and reading threads and all that jazz. So here, my gap to Trulli has almost completely evaporated. I have 2 more laps to go after this one. Nope, 2 more laps to go with this one included. So I'm pretty much just desperate to keep Trulli behind me and not suffer the horrors of getting lapped. Because I know the leaders must not be that far away anymore. I haven't improved on my personal best just because grip is so important on this track. There's no way I can be fast enough with those primes throughout these fast sweepers. Just not comfortable enough with the car. Not comfortable with myself. I'm all crisped up in this car, frustrated, mad, and angry. So it's just a matter of getting the car to the finish line, really. No nice racing moves. Just doing my own thing, getting this car home. And at least I hit one of the team's objectives. Can you imagine these dudes expected me to finish 12th? I mean, even if the AI wasn't so legendary, I mean, you're a Lotus. Don't be so irrational. Lotus finishing 12th. It happened once this year with Kovalainen after 10 cars didn't finish. Why they grabbed the 10th spot on the Constructors Championship. Didn't score a single point, but they had the highest finishing position of the newbie teams. Here's the last lap, and I just wishing this Grand Prix to be over. I just want to forget about it, never race here again. But it's on the calendar. There is a mod for this, but like I said, I'm not gonna put in the mods for this season. I'm just gonna play it like Codemasters does, intended it to be played, and in a way also to call them out at the things they've done bad. Because I put in a mod, and people that don't have the game and look at these things, they'll say, "Oh man, this game's awesome," and then when they load up their own game, and it's like, "Oh my, what the hell is this?" Because there is a mod for Catalunya, a good PC modder that fixed that. It's the opposite of the slow corner fix I mentioned before. It's the Catalunya fast corner fix. So they go slower through these corners to give you a chance in the Grand Prix. But, if I'm not going to improve the AI on other tracks, then I'm not going to slow them down on this one. That would be a little bit unfair. Maybe if ever I do a second season of this, maybe I'll do that one with all the mods installed. But, you know, this is how Codemasters coded the game, and this is how the general public should see it. Not gonna let Codemasters profit from all that great work those modders did, which Codemasters should have done. So, home straight, kept truly behind me. Don't spin out, yep, don't spin out, and there we go, home straight. P21. He's not happy. No fist pumping this time. And a pretty bad fastest lap. Like I said, just couldn't focus. Yeah, I understand he's not ecstatic. The wrong end of the field. I don't know. My teammate is still behind me, buddy. And Mark Webber wins again. Button in P2 and Schumacher in P3. Didn't miss that a bit, but I lost some points in the Drivers' Championship. Like I said, my goal is to stay with Lotus anyway. If I can pick a Williams driver as my rival, I will so I don't have to do a second season with Lotus. And yeah, you see that in the reputation. Didn't gain a lot of rep. Still winning the teammate challenge though. And here's another interview.
Do you think your performance this weekend was a true reflection of what you and your car are capable of?
Yeah, that's not the right question to be asking. I was pissed. So I'm saying the car is underperforming. And that's so stupid, these interviews. Are you thinking about taking the title? I'm in a Lotus. I'm in 5th or 6th position in the Drivers' Championship. Come on. So, you know, interviews need to be a bit more situationally aware. You know, they pretty much ask you whatever question. So there we go. Next Grand Prix, Monte Carlo. I love Monte Carlo. That's going to be a true corker. So peace out, guys, and I'll see you then. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want more.